Welcome to another episode of Grand Football TV. Yes, it's the international break, and we normally would bring our game week predictions for the game week, but because it's international break, we're deciding to look at a few things differently. And what we are going to be looking at are, I don't know if your own transfers, but I'm going to be looking at the top 10 transfers for me. You know, the ones I feel are like the top 10 for me. And I'm going to start from 10 up until number 1. Yeah, so stay tuned. If you're just joining us for the first time, you are welcome. Don't forget to leave a comment, leave a like, and don't forget to smash that subscription button. Yeah, okay, let's look at the transfers. Don't forget, we're looking at the Premier League, not the transfers in all the markets, just the Premier League. And before we do number 10, we will do our special shout out to the transfers who are very good but obviously haven't made my top 10. And I'm going to shout out to the likes of Martin Zubimendi, who moved from Real Sociedad to Arsenal. That's a very good move for Arsenal because they need that kind of defensive midfielder. And so far, so good, what we've seen so far of the player. Also, a shout out to Ryan Cherki, who's moved from Lyon to Manchester City. He's injured at the moment, but so far he's looked good, and I'm sure when he's back, he will have a lot to offer to the team. Another player to give a shout out to is Dango Utara. Remember him? He moved from Bournemouth and is now at Brentford. And with all the departures from Brentford, he seems to be a good buy. And I feel like he's going to be one of them ones and think, how did everyone miss him? How did we miss this player? Because so far he's looking good for Brentford. Yeah. Another player is Estevão Willian, who moved from Palmeiras to Chelsea. And remember, he moved, I think, before the start of the transfer window was ready. He had already made that move. And he was able to play against his new club in the Club World Cup and even scored against them. And so far in the Premier League, he's looked okay. He's looked very good. So he might be one who'll be thinking, wow, such a good player for the future. And then another player, he hasn't moved permanently, but looks like is a very, very good move for the player, especially with the World Cup coming up, is Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish is such a good move, man. He's had 4 assists already in 3 games. He hasn't scored any goal yet, but you can see he's enjoying his football again. So that's another good move for the player. Yeah. So now we would look at the top 10, and I'm going to start from number 10. Number 10 for me is Granit Xhaka, who moved from Leverkusen to Sunderland for a reported fee of around 17.3 million. Yeah, Granit Xhaka, an experienced Premier League player. Remember his days at Arsenal. He even captained Arsenal at some point, although he lost his captaincy. But the last few years of his reign at Arsenal was a good one. Although they didn't win anything, but he had a very, very good time playing the number 8 for Arsenal. And this is a very, very, very important buy for Sunderland. Sunderland have done a lot of acquisition, but I think this one should be one of their best, you know, because of his experience, his wealth of experience in the Premier League and what he has to offer. He would make sure he organizes that midfield and even the defense to make sure they're hard to beat. And you can tell already from their games, they've already won 2 out of their 3 games, a newly promoted side, guys. Come on. So he must have a great impact already in the team, and we can see it already. Yeah, so Granit Xhaka is sitting at number 10 for me. At number 9, I am going to go for Matheus Cunha, who moved from Wolves to Manchester United for a reported fee of 62.5 million. He's such a good buy for Manchester United, and you could see it straight away from that first game against Arsenal. He was their best player. He was trying to make sure he had things, getting things done, although he might not want to be reminded of what happened in the Carabao Cup qualifier, where he missed his penalty that could have taken them to the next round. And to make matters worse, he got injured in the next game. He's not available at the moment, but we have the international break anyway, so I don't know how long he's away for, but he's out injured at the moment. So he sits at number 9 for me. Matheus Cunha would be a very, very good player for Manchester United, as long as they are able to utilize him to the best of his abilities. He could play on the left, he could play on the right, he could play central mid, he could play up front. So that's a good asset to have in your team, and hopefully Man United are able to utilize his potentials to the fullest. At number 8 is Tijjani Reinders, who moved from AC Milan to Manchester City for a reported fee of 46.3 million. Tijjani is known for his, going forward prowess, always trying to make things happen up front, like a attacking midfielder. And he's got goals in him. He's already registered himself in the first game of the season where he got a goal and an assist. So he's one to look out for. Although the other 2 games which he played before the international break, City have lost, and so he hasn't actually done much as well in the games. So we're hoping come the rest of the season he would be one to look back and say, it's a good buy for Manchester City, because he's come there to fill up big shoes, the likes of De Bruyne. Or is he going to be filling up Bernardo Silva, who's on his way out? But we don't know. But I feel that's a good buy, a top signing, and he sits at number 8 for me. At number 7, I've got Xavi Simons, who's moved from RB Leipzig to Tottenham for a reported fee of about 51.8 million. This player is such a good player, but it seems like his potential has always been kind of like held back. But let's see what happens as he's come to Tottenham now. Tottenham have done good business. I must give it to them. They've done good business as well. So let's see if he will be allowed to play that proper attacking midfield role and get things happening, creating chances for the strikers to get the goals in and getting goals himself. So I feel this is a very, very good buy for Tottenham, because at that fee as well, 51.8 is a good amount to pay for a midfield of his caliber. So that's a good buy as well. And sitting at number 6 is Eberechi Eze. We know how this one went, guys. As an Arsenal fan, I was so happy on the day when Eberechi signed for Arsenal. And not just for all that hype and all that has happened, that, he was meant to be and all that, but for what he's going to bring to the team. Could he displace Odegaard in the number 10? He's definitely taking that left-hand side, but I'd rather see him, because that was where he was most prolific for Crystal Palace in the midfield in number 10, where he's just roaming about doing things and creating chances for people. So yeah, I think that's a good buy from Crystal Palace to Arsenal, and a reported fee of about 60 million. Yeah, so let's see what happens with Eberechi Eze. Let's see if he's gonna live up to all that potential that is in him that we know he has. So let's see if that would work. Yeah, he's at number 6 for me. And at number 5 is Bryan Mbeumo. That's how you say it, I think. Bryan Mbeumo. Brentford to Manchester United for a reported fee of about 65 million. Yeah. So Bryan Mbeumo seems to be that player that Man United need at the moment, the player who will get things happening, especially on the flanks. And he's already registered in the loss to Grimsby and in the last game against Burnley, where he scored a good goal. He scored 2 good goals for Manchester United already, and you know there's more to come from Bryan Mbeumo as long as he's fit. And his fitness record is normally very good, so you would expect him to have a good, chunk of this season playing and obviously starting for Manchester United. And I think he's gonna do well. I don't know if it's going to be under Amorim or another coach, but the fact that he's a Manchester United player, I know he's going to do well. He's going to give his all to every game. Yeah. At number 4 for me, Victor Gyökeres. Arsenal have been looking for, not looking, but needing a striker for a long time. And they've eventually got an out-and-out striker. And it is time for us to see what he is going to do. So far, he looks good. He's got 2 goals in 3 games, albeit from 1 game out of the 3. But he seems like a player who, if Arsenal, Arteta can play to his strengths, they will get a lot of goals out of him, because you can see he's hungry for goals. He just wants to score goals. So I see this one happening if they can play to his strengths. Remember, they got him from Sporting Lisbon and he moved to Arsenal for a reported fee of about 64 million. 64 million. Yeah, so we'll see how he performs at the end of the season. But he sits at number 4 for me. And at number 3 is Hugo Ekitike. Remember his name? Ekitike. The guy who his name, you can say it backwards and forward. There's a name for that. I think it's called conundrum or something. Yeah. You let me know in the comment section what it's supposed to be. Yeah. Eintracht Frankfurt. He moved from Eintracht Frankfurt to Liverpool for a reported fee of about 79 million. Yeah, and he's already set the Premier League alight. He scored in almost every game he's played in, except the one against Arsenal. He scored in the Community Shield, scored in their first game against Bournemouth, scored in their game against Newcastle, and obviously, he's got 3 goals in all comps already. So he's looking like one that would be very good. Although there might be some reasons why his goals might dry up now, because, we're coming to that. We're coming to why his goals might dry up. We're coming to that. But yeah, Hugo Ekitike is sitting at number 3 for me. Yeah, sitting at number 3. At number 2 is João Pedro, who moved from Brighton Hove Albion to Chelsea for a reported fee of about 60 million. Yeah, and Chelsea did this one very early because of their involvement in the Club World Cup, and he delivered. He delivered on every front. As soon as he came in, he was scoring goals. And he scored about 5 goals already for Chelsea or more. And that's a good return already for a player. of his caliber. You know, and those of us who play FPL are already happy we have him in our team because he's giving us points. He helped me last week because I had to captain him and he scored. And yeah, he's doing well. And Chelsea, they'll be happy. In fact, they let the likes of Jackson go because they got Pedro. And obviously they've got Delap, who's injured at the moment. A special shout out to Delap as well, the goodbye. But yeah, João Pedro is one of the ones that I think would get a decent amount of goals as long as he stays fit. I think he will get a decent amount of goals. Yeah. Okay. And in number 1, you know it, guys. You know who that is. He's a player that I've admired so much, but this whole transfer saga, this summer, I wasn't very pleased, but he's a player that you have to respect his abilities. Alexander Isak, who's moved from Newcastle to Liverpool for a whopping fee of 125 million. Yeah, 125 million. Yeah, such a good player. And I know joining Liverpool is joining better. No disrespect to Newcastle, but these guys will deliver, you know, feed him even more than he was getting at Newcastle, and he probably banging loads and loads of goals in the years to come, because I realize I hear he signed about like a 5-year deal or something. So yeah, he's gonna be the one to look out for. And yeah, a great deal for him moving to Liverpool. So yeah, that's my top 10. What are your top 10? I know everyone's got their own top 10, because some people will say, why don't you have the likes of Wirtz on this list? Why don't you have who else is a player that was bought? Why don't you have Wissa? Why don't you have Walter Matt? No, this is mine. So you can do yours and tell us who your top 10 are. Yeah. Thank you guys for listening in. And don't forget, I will see you in the next video. Our next video actually should be about the final top 4 and bottom 3 from all the Grand Football panel. That will be an interesting one. You don't want to miss that one. Right, guys, I shall see you in the next video. Bye for now.
Don't check this.